Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am super excited to have you all here with me today for another fun Scrap With Us video where I'm collaborating with Lauren, who is Craft Some Joy from the USA. Now, if you're new here, Lauren and I each month create a layout for you all featuring a brand new Creative Memories collection. And I am excited for today because we're working with the National Scrapbook Day products for 2023. I have so much to get through with you all before I start creating, so let's just dive right in. Now, I just want to give a brief overview of the National Scrapbook Day products from Creative Memories because some of you may not have seen them. You can get the cardstock sampler pack. Now, there are 10 sheets of cardstock in this pack, 5 different colorways, which all coordinate beautifully with the National Scrapbook Day products. I love all of these colors. You also have the project recipe kit. Now, what comes in this kit is a fantastic sticker sheet with lots of fun icons and quotes and border stickers. And then you also get your paper pack, which will have 6 sheets of designer paper, 2 sheets of cardstock, and you also get the fabulous project recipe guide. And that just features all of the cutting instructions and placement for creating these fantastic layouts. You can also find the National Scrapbook Day mini embellishment pack. There's lots of cute little icons and little quotes featured within this pack. Then there is also the National Scrapbook Day accessory paper pack, and you're receiving another 6 sheets of designer paper in this pack, and they all coordinate beautifully with the project recipe kit. And also, and this would have to be one of my favorites, is the laser cut bundle. So you're getting a bundle of creative frames as well as laser cut borders. And why I love these so much is because they are dual-sided. So you can pick which color you want depending on what side of the frame or the borders that you want to use. Now, all of those products can be bought in the customer bundle, and when you do buy them in the customer bundle, you also receive the project booklet, and it features a whole bunch of layouts that you can create with all of the products in your bundle. Now, I also want to mention the new Lemon Punch and Citrus Slice BMC that are released at the same time as the NSD products. How cute are they? Now, this is what I am most excited about today, and that is the release of my brand new printable sketch booklet. Even though Creative Memories have produced the project booklet and the project recipe kit booklet, Lauren and I thought it would be fun to put our own spin on things and offer you even more options. Lauren's printable book will be available over on her website, as is my booklet will be available on my website, but don't worry, everything you need will be linked below this video. If I can walk you through my sketch booklet, you'll notice when you head to my website that there are 2 purchase options. You have the personal use option as well as the commercial use option. Basically, the personal use option is if you are a hobbyist and you would just like to use my sketches for your own personal use. The commercial use option is if you are a Creative Memories advisor and you would like to use one of my sketches at an in-person only event. Once you have printed your booklet, you'll be able to staple it together or place it within a binder, but it features 9 single-page sketches. Now, I know so many of you love your double page designs, but please know that I have created these sketches so that 8 of these designs can be combined to produce 4 double page layouts. And I do give you the instructions for how to do that within the book. As I said, this is a sketchbook, so there are no cutting guides or step-by-step instructions. However, I do give all of the measurements on the sketch. I've also created a sample page with the NSD products, and I'm giving you some very helpful tips as well to produce your pages. As you flick through, you will see that I do give the option for creating a double page design. Now, even though I have created my sample pages with the NSD products, this sketch booklet has not been designed exclusively for that collection, meaning you can use these sketches with any Creative Memories collections you like, making it very, very versatile, and you can use it time and time again. One little bit of advice I will give you though, should you decide that you would like to create all 9 layouts exactly the same as my sample pages, then I do highly recommend that you're going to need more than one paper pack, more than one little packet of embellishments as well. I think I've been talking enough now. Let's just dive straight into what we're going to be creating today. We're going to be working with sketch number 9 from my booklet. Now you'll see that I've labeled it as the bonus sketch, and the reason for that is usually my monthly sketchbooks only contain 8 designs, whereas today for NSD I've produced 9, and that's the one that we're going to be creating today, so I've called it our bonus sketch. So I'll bring in the completed page that I've created using my sketch, and it's this design here. It's a typical paper Sweetpea design. You know I can't resist paper flowers. I just love them. I've included all of the measurements. There's a heap of instructions below this sketch, and I'm going to walk you through it how I've brought my page together. Keep in mind that sketches though are open to interpretation, and you might like to change a few things around or position things differently, and that's okay too. I welcome you to use your own creativity as well. Okay, I'm so excited to start creating. Don't forget that I am here live with you today, and you can ask anything you like in the chat box, and I'll do my best to answer all of your questions as we're creating. I've got my sketch here. I've got a bunch of the NSD papers and my mats down ready to go. The first thing obviously you want to do is select what paper you would like for your background paper. Now you can use cardstock if you wish. That will of course conserve your designer papers. I've selected this paper here. I'm going to use the lighter side. I really liked the pattern and how subtle this was. So we've got a lot going on the page, so I thought I'd go with a fairly neutral background. So looking at the sketch, we can start with this little thin strip on the right hand side, and I've given the measurement as 3/4 of an inch by 12 inches. So I'll bring in my 12-inch trimmer with straight blade, and I'm actually going to use the same paper for this strip. I had an offcut, but I'm going to work with the green side. So that's the side that will be our background page, and I'm going to work with the green for this strip. I can line that up to 3/4 of an inch, and we can trim straight through. So we've got our strip. That's nice and simple. And I can bring in my background page, and we know that this strip is going to sit to the right hand side here. Let's get these papers out of the way. Now on this sketch you can see that we've also got a featured border next to this strip. Now you can use anything you like. You might have another border punch that you'd like to use. You could use a decorative border sticker. Anything you like. I've decided that I really want to work with one of the laser cut borders, and I really love this scallop design. And as I said, you can see they are dual sided, so we've got yellow on one side, green on the other. I'm going to stick to the green, I think, and I'm going to want it positioned to the right side up against that strip like so. And once you're happy with that, we can get them stuck down into place. I'm going to bring in my repositional tape. For those of you who've been creating with me for a while, you know that repositional tape is my chosen adhesive 90% of the time. I like the fact that if I need to lift something up, if I've got it in the wrong spot, I can change it up and move things around. And over time, the repositional tape does become more permanent. And I can stick down my laser cut border next to that strip. It's super simple. We've already got that one side of our layout there completed. So next I'm going to work on this side strip here. Now you can see with the two different tones on the sketch, that indicates that we can use two different designer papers. And you can see that I've made it a wavy line. Now you can interpret that as tearing some strips. You could use one of the decorative blades on the 12-inch trimmer. You could use another border punch, whatever you like. I'm going to stick to the wavy line though, and I'm going to work with my 12-inch decorative trimmer. So I'll just lift these out of the way again. Now because we've used the dark green on this strip here, I do want to include that colour on the left side as well. So I'm going to bring back in that strip, and I'm also going to use this beautiful lime green. Now I have given measurements for these strips, however, again, interpret those as you like. They're there for you as a guide. But that first wavy line I've listed as 1.5 inches wide by 12 inches. So I'll just line up my paper in the 12-inch trimmer. And I'm going to be working with the more wavy edge here. There's two edges on this trimmer, but I'm going to be working with this one. So we can trim that down like so. So that's given us our first edge. Now the second edge actually says 2.5 inches wide, but because I'm going to be tucking this in underneath, I don't think we need to cut it that wide at all. I'm actually just going to cut a very, very thin strip because you're not going to see all of that paper there, and we can save a bit of our designer paper. So I've cut my wavy edge. I'll bring in my 12-inch trimmer, and I'm just going to cut a straight edge on that because we only need to see a bit of that wavy edge. So even though the full width here is probably close to the 2.5 inches wide, I certainly haven't cut this strip to be 2.5 inches wide. It's a little paper saving tip for you all. We can go ahead and layer those two strips together. Just run a little bit of the repositionable tape down that edge there. And we can stick that together. Like so. I can bring back in our background page. And now this strip can be layered down that left side. Now looking at our sketch design, you can see that I've got a very sweet big flower tucked in behind this border. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a little bit of repositionable tape to the bottom of this border. And I'm going to stick that down in the bottom left-hand corner. However, I'm not going to stick the top part of this just yet because I want to be able to lift that to be able to tuck my flower in underneath the border. So we can leave this aside just for now. We're finished with our background page and we can work more on our flowers. Now we're going to need a few little tools to create our flowers. I've got all 3 cutting blades. I've also got my small heart cutting template, and I've got my medium and small circle cutting templates as well. But we're going to create the hidden flower first. And I just think the inside track of that small heart, it's an egg shape. So I mean, it'd be perfect for Easter layouts as well. It's an egg shape, but it also makes a wonderful flower petal shape as well. And I'm going to work with this beautiful yellow. And I think I'm only going to need about 4 of these petals. You can always cut more, but I'm going to use my red blade on that inside track just to cut 4 of these petals. Now we can slip in those little nodules. and we can cut those out. Now, you know me, I always go big with things like this. And if you feel that, you know, these petals are too big for how you like, you might want to include more photos on your layout so you don't want your flowers as big, then, you know, you could drop this down a blade size. You could go to a green blade, which is going to make these petals just that little bit smaller. It's entirely up to you. I'll just turn that over so I don't injure myself. So there we have our 4 petals, and now we need to cut a center for my flower, and I'm going to work with this beautiful aqua, and I'm going to work with the medium circle template with the blue blade. Now you'll notice on my sketch design here, I've actually given all of these measurements are written down for you for how you can create each flower, so everything is detailed on that sketch. So we've got the medium circle. So we've got the medium circle template with the blue blade on the inside track, and we're just going to cut 1 circle from that, and that will be our center. Very simple, and it's not using a lot of our papers. So we can bring back in our background. And this is where we can lift that border out of the way to be able to start putting our flower into place. So we sort of want to be able to tuck our little petals in behind. And what you'll find is when you're placing your petals in the circle like this, you're going to be thinking, oh, that really doesn't look like a flower. But I promise you, once you get your flower center in place, it instantly becomes a little paper bloom. So don't worry if it's looking a little how you're going there, if it's not looking how you want it. As soon as you come and put this center in place, it instantly turns into a flower, and I'll show you what I mean. Ta-da! Look at that. Perfect. And being able to lift that border will just save you so much trouble of having to peel things out of the way. But once you're happy with how that looks, we can go in. I might just carefully lift the center out, and we can start adhering these petals into place on the background. And once you've got this flower in place, then you can go ahead and we're going to start creating all of the other little layered blooms as well. So we can stick these down. Can go in here like so. Now, one little detail I just want to do before I put my flower center in place, I'm just going to bring in some journal pens. I'm going to take my black journal pen. Now, these are little details that you're not going to see, obviously, on a sketch. These are just little things that I like to do. But I'm just going to use the finer tip of my black journal pen, and I'm just going to draw, I'll just show you, I'll bring it up to the camera. I'm just going to draw a little stitched line all the way around the edge of that flower center. And it's just going to help highlight that flower just a little more. A fun little extra that you could do if you wanted to, you could actually center this flower with a small little photo. I think that would look really cute too, poking out from behind the border. So that's just another option for your sketch. I keep repeating myself, but sketches really are open to your own interpretation. There we go. So I can stick this down now in the center of my flower. I'm not happy with that bottom petal there, so this is where my repo tape comes in very handy. Just going to lift that out of the way. That looks better. Once you're happy with your little flower, then we can go ahead and adhere down the rest of this border. So just run your tape along over your flower and stick down in place. All right, so let's create some little layered blooms. I've demonstrated how to make these many times before, and they always look great on any project. But basically the best advice I can give you for creating those is have variety. And what I mean by that is a good variety of different papers and a good variety of sizes. Now I've allowed for 6 flowers on my layout. However, you can have as many or as few as you like, okay? So you don't need to have as many as what I'm creating. I am going to create the 6 though today for you all. So I'm going to have 2 larger sized flowers on my page and then sort of 4 medium sized flowers. And I'm going to work with both sides of this paper, but basically to start for your larger size flower, you're going to need your medium circle cutting template and your red blade, and you need to cut 2 from the inside track that size. And that's the base layer of the larger flower. Once you've cut your 2 circles, I like to put them in a pile to the side, and I like to keep all of my sizes in their own little pile. It just makes it quicker when you're putting your flowers together. That's the only 2 circles I need to cut that size, okay? Because I only want 2 large flowers on my page. However, I'm going to bring in all 4 papers, and with the green blade and the blue blade, we need to cut 6 from the inside track. So 6 with the blue blade, 6 with the green blade from all 4 different papers. Just mix and match your prints. It doesn't matter which ones you like to use. When you've done that, we're going to bring in the small custom circle cutting template, and you need to cut 6 circles with each blade. So 6 red, 6 blue, and 6 green. So I've cut my circles off camera to save a bit of time, but you can see here laid out in their neat little piles, I've cut 2 with the red blade from the medium cutting circle template, and then I've cut 6 of each from the green and blue blades, and from all 3 blades, I've cut 6 of each with the small custom cutting circle template. Okay, so I'll lift these out of the way now. Now another little trick that I've just completed as well is I like to open out my scissors, and I like to distress around the edges of each circle, and it just gives it a really nice textured appearance and it gives it dimension and just helps give it that nice little shabby effect. Again, this is a little tip that you won't see on a scrapbooking sketch, but because I'm filming today, you'll be able to see that that's another little technique that I like to use. Don't worry if you accidentally cut or tear one of your layers with your scissors, it all adds to the effect. Now I am going to bring in my foam squares and repositional tape, and we can start creating flowers. It's very quick from here. So I'm going to start with one of my larger petals and just going to start layering a circle from each pile, mixing and matching what print that I'm using. So remember, this will be one of the larger sized flowers, and I'm just going to work my way along my little pile. So up to 4 layers. We'll go another brighter yellow, like so. Now these smaller circles, these are going to be the center of your flower. So I'm going to actually add these with a foam square, like so, just to help raise that up from the center, like so. Now if you wanted to, you can go around and sort of ruffle the edges of your flower if you like. I don't tend to. I think they look cute enough on their own. But basically, I'm just going to repeat that step now for each single flower, just making sure that no 2 are the same. I'm mixing and matching all of those different colors and just centering them perfectly together. I might add another little lemon print circle there. And let's see, go a yellow. So every flower that you make is going to be different, and that's what makes them look so unique. We'll finish that off with the center in a foam square. And that has completed our 2 larger sized flowers. So now all that's left to do is put together the 4 smaller sizes. Just continuing that exact same process. It's just that we've taken the larger base layer out of the mix. Okay, so once you've layered all of your circles together, this is what you're going to be left with. 6 very unique blooms. They're all different and all unique. So we can set these to the side and bring back in our base page. Now, before we adhere our little flowers into place, I think it's time we talk photos. And again, referring back to the sketch, you can see that I've allowed for 4 photos and I've given measurements for both photo mats and what to trim your photos to. Again, that's just a guide. You may want more photos, you may want less, you may wish to change up the sizes. You do you and what suits the photos that you're using for this page. I'm actually going with a Easter theme for my page, which I think it lends itself very well to. So I've got my 4 photos here and I've already matted them. I've used the canary cardstock. I love this color so much. So I've got 2 photo mats that I've cut to 5 by 3.5 and I've trimmed my photos to 4.75 by 3.25. So we can add one to the top there. And I've got another one for the base here. And then I've got 2 more photos that I've cut the mat to 3 inches by 4 inches. And the photos have been trimmed to 2.75 by 3.75. And they can go in the middle together there. So once you're happy with the position of them, you can go ahead and stick those into place. Okay, so with our photos stuck down, we can come in with our blooms and get them stuck into place. We took so much time and care to position our first flower, so I do recommend that you try not to cover it over with these other flowers. Sort of layer them across to the side a little, like so, and we can add another there. And then we've got space for another 3 in this lower corner here. Page is really jumping to life now that we've got everything in place. So we can stick these down. And our base ones here as well. So now we can bring in the sticker sheet and the mini embellishment pack as well and embellish our page. As I said, the embellishment pack's got some really cute little die cuts and quotes in the packet. So I don't think I can go past my little lemon here. You might pop one up there on my flowers and another down here. So I'm going to use this You and Me sticker and I'm going to add that with a foam square just to build some dimension down the bottom here. And the same with my little lemon slice. Oh, layer that through the center of our flowers. That says You and Me. It's very cute. And I love this big sticker, Oh Happy Day, which we might add, let's go a lime underneath there. So, and we can layer that over the top with some foam squares. Oh Happy Day And I've just got another lemon slice that I'd like to add here. Lay it over my flowers, and we can finish it off with a little heart on our larger bloom there. Now I have allowed room here for some journaling. You can write directly on your page if you wish, just in this little area here. You all know I don't like my handwriting, right? I never write on my pages because I think my handwriting's too messy. So I'm just going to do my signature thing that I always do. I've just printed my journaling onto some photo safe paper, just using a Word document on my computer. Very simple. And I've just trimmed those down into strips, and I'm going to add those to my layout to finish it off. Lucy and Ollie had the best fun hunting for Easter eggs in the garden, Easter 2022. So when you're happy with, you know, the position of those on your page, I'm just going to add them in with some repositionable tape. You can overlap the photo a little if you like. So that pretty well completes sketch number 9 from my sketchbook. I'm really happy with how that's turned out today, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing me create that with you all. Don't forget to head on over to Lauren's YouTube channel and check out the layout that she's created for you all. You'll find the link to her channel as well as the links to each of our printable books all below this video. Be sure to give me a thumbs up and have fun creating, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I will see you next time. Bye.